I'm Allendale's chief meteorologist Ryan Martin with a look at your midday weather update. Big frontal boundary working its way through the upper Midwest so far has done nothing. The front runs basically from the upper peninsula of Michigan back down across northern Wisconsin through the southern part of Minnesota and then into Nebraska. The only place we see anything firing off right now is in extreme northeastern Nebraska, north and east of the Fremont area. This will likely hold together. Looks like it's thunderstorm based. But honestly, what I think we have to see here is low pressure that's currently in southeastern parts of Colorado has to catch up with this front and then shoot up it. And I think that happens overnight tonight and then through the day tomorrow. So I continue to look for scattered showers and thunderstorms to develop over southern Minnesota into Iowa, Wisconsin as we go through tomorrow and into early Thursday. The thing is, I don't think it's going to be as widespread as even what I was thinking 24 hours ago. So at this point, I'd say maybe 50% coverage in Minnesota. I'll call it 20% coverage in Iowa. Guess I'm not looking for that much in terms of geographical coverage. A little bit in Wisconsin as well. Still leaving that top end rain up around an inch. But I will also grant you, I think we're going to see a lot more in the half to quarter inch range than anything else. And still, this front falls apart, or at least the moisture does, before we get this thing to move anywhere closer to Illinois. And as a matter of fact, the front dissipates as well. We see nothing that interrupts the dry forecast over the central and eastern Corn Belt as we go on through the rest of this week, the weekend, and next week. As a matter of fact, outside of the rain in Minnesota and Iowa, and let's be real, let's throw in the eastern Dakotas and eastern Nebraska. Outside of that, we don't see any rain until we get into early October across a large part of key ag areas. Let's talk about that next round of precipitation. Models still are in a lot of disagreement as to timing. I believe there's going to be a front in there somewhere from, let's say, the October 3rd to October 6th time frame. I think it's going to be a decent front. May not have the best moisture profile with it, but I think it can do half an inch of rain. Maybe coverage about 50 to 60% of the Corn Belt. Timing, though, is the problem. GFS model tries to bring in a bigger system later. The European is faster and smaller. The true solution is probably somewhere in between. One thing that I think is going to be interesting, though, is the cool air or the temperature changes that come. I'm looking for the front there in early October to usher in another below normal stretch of temperatures across the Great Lakes and northern plains. That will probably bring some frost to maybe parts of the upper Midwest. This is the time of year, though, that you would expect that, and it might even be a little bit behind normal first frost dates in some of those areas farther to the north. Don't think we have to worry about anything over the central, eastern, or southern Corn Belt, but I do look for that front in early October to usher in another push of cool air, and then we bounce right back from it very, very quickly. That's the way I'm looking at things going forward. Outside of that, there's not a lot of impactful weather here across the U.S. Models have backed off landfall with a tropical system late next week, but it's still in the Gulf. Watch that if the track does turn north and go straight up the Mississippi River Valley again. Could spell some interesting extended forecast precipitation outlooks for the eastern Corn Belt. But as I said, right now, doesn't look to be a big deal. In South America, waiting on rain to put some crops in the ground. Latest check of models here show the same progression that we've talked about, both on this update, this audio update, and online the past 2 days. Looking at moisture in southern Brazil, slowly tracking north. Today, I lessened the impact up in Mato Grosso, some of those central Brazil areas. Looks like the front wants to fall apart a little bit more. We're looking at precipitation totals, maybe a bit smaller, and definitely coverage back to about 50%. However, what I'm taking away there, I may be able to put back in with a very strong system that's developing around day 9 and 10 down in Paraguay and now spreading into extreme southern Brazil. That one looks massive. If it holds together as it goes north, that should give a nice patch of rain to a large part of Brazil's soybean growing areas. That's the way things are stacking up. Have a great rest of your day. If you got any questions on the weather, give us a call at Allendale. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin.